if I don't come back in half an hour, assume I'm dead. And then just keep going.
The other
Go
pilot looks at
reporting.
you like what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I haven't even explained this to him.
Yeah.
It's out of context.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell? Okay, so you go and you make your way to the place. When you go walking in, he is standing there. He's, just like you, he's not wearing like armor or anything like that at the moment, whereas Carmine is, well, effectively always in his light combat armor. You are currently not in armor at the moment, and just like him, and so he's sitting there as you come walking in. He's over by a side. It's like the bloop blink, and you hear like the enter, and you can go in, and he's kind of like finishing something off to the side. Maybe it's a standing desk. And he finishes doing what he's doing, and then he turns around to look at you. How do you stand?
I'm standing like a soldier should, but with my arms crossed. So it's not like full like military parade. Like straight, fairly respectful, but arms crossed.
So you're not standing at attention for the captain?
No. Like halfway there,
Ooh.
but no.
Gotcha. So he does turn and he looks at you. So he turns around with his, and he opens his mouth, taking in air like he's about to start speaking. And when he turns, he looks at you and sees that you're not standing at attention. And he kind of like stops, and you can see his eyes are like fixated on the fact that you're not doing that. And there's a pause for a few moments. Do you stay still?
I stand to attention then,
Mm-hmm.
but like as soon as he goes back to talking, I'll go back to normal.
The first thing he says, and it was probably what he was going to say to begin with when he saw that it didn't apply, is at ease. And so you go back to, like you said, the exact posture that you're in.
Yeah.
And so he looks at you and he says, what is it, Adam, right? Yeah, Adam. Right, Adam?
Adam.
Adam, okay. Oh, there it is. It says right there. It didn't before. It didn't. So he says, Adam, you didn't seem very satisfied.
You don't seem very satisfied. You didn't want me on this ship?
No, I didn't.
You said you handpicked every single member of your crew. I know for a fact that that's a lie. And it makes me question every single word you said up there, which as a captain is a bad thing to be happening.
Why is it that I didn't want you on my ship?
You tell me.
Games, Adam. It's been years. We're boys no more. Your brother died under my command. You know the way that I command. I didn't think it appropriate for you to be on my ship. I didn't think it to be fair for your parents to have to watch that, to have to see it coming on a report. Besides, how well are you going to do?
I'll do my job just fine. Better than fine.
Your brother followed my orders to a T. Cost him his life. What about you?
It won't cost me my life.
You gonna follow orders?
Yes, sir.
He was looking at you like he knew that this situation, like you can clearly see it on his face, this situation was exactly what he was trying to avoid to begin with.
Yeah.
But it probably was his actions that perpetuated the situation.
He made it worse.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so he says, I did, in fact, pick you as a pilot that I would like to have on my ship. It was never put to paper because I know of the skill that you have, and I know the skill that you're going to get. You're still in your earlier years. I decided it wasn't appropriate to have you on the ship, which is why I had paperwork specifically saying for you not to be on the ship. However, you're not I'm not the only one whose eye you've caught over the years, and others see this as an opportunity for you. I think it's a sadistic one.
some people in command, I think, get some joy about pushing people into certain positions. I'm not to question it.
Yeah, when you say that, roll for me a.
Talk.
Hold on. It's actually going to be a perception charisma check.
Sure. Let me just work out how the hell to roll. Oh, there it is.
I have to fix sneak. Sneak has a little curly bracket at the end of it. Perception. Okay, so you can see that when you say that, the official reaction you get off of him is that he is like they enjoy this kind of like sadistic stuff or whatever. You can see that he is agreeing with you, but not from your perspective, from his own.
Yes.
Yeah. So so that happens, and he then looks at you as you finish your sentence. He says, "We have a task. We will follow the orders. Were you given the extra word, your personal responsibilities on this ship?"
I have the dossiers. The paperwork is limited.
The first place where we're going to be going is the Hades Nexus, and you're going to be flying co-pilot as we head there. I know you've made your way through mass relays many times, but this is a new ship, and so you're going to be flying co-pilot on this one. Get familiar with the ship, the weight of it, and learn the numbers. We need to make sure that when we go through mass relay, we go through it quickly. We don't want to screw anything up. It's always important that we know how to retreat when we need to. We're heading to the Hades Nexus, to the Hoplo system. Are you familiar with Trident?
I am not.
Trident is a colony. It's of ours. It's been around for 20 years. It's a predominantly aquatic planet, but it has some lands. Enough lands. Similar to Earth, but with more water even than that. We're heading there. It's one of our colonies because we've had a lot of interaction with other Citadel species there. Trades will be made because of where its location is. They'll come in, they'll make trade with us. It's kind of their touch and go way of interacting with us. And so I'm bringing us there so that you and your crew can have touch and go interaction with them. I'm not bringing you straight to the Citadel so that they can drop their jaw and start shooting at everything because they're untrained or unfamiliar with the others.
Yeah, he's actually like sort of smiling at that. I think that's a wise decision. To be, we want to know what the people of these races are really like. Going to the Citadel you would get politics, you'd get diplomacy. Traders will tell you the truth.
You would also get gutter rats, just like any city.
True.
So we're going to go on the rim. We're going to go where their real people are making real deals with our people. Where they're going to put on enough of a smile to not start a war because of our reputation, but at the same time, they're not going to be tiptoeing and being fancy because we're nobodies in their eyes. So that's where we're going. That is your responsibility. I suggest you go and get familiar with your crew after we get ourselves set up in the relay and well on our way. The travel will take some time, and that gives you time to get to know them.
Will do, sir. Is there anything else that you require?
No, but there is something that I offer. I do have a meeting chamber, the conference room. You're welcome to use the conference room to sit down and have a conversation with them, get to know one another. Or we do have a small shooting range on the ship. It's down in the down deep in the hull. You've made your paces throughout the entirety of the ship.
I have, and looking at their dossiers, that would be the more preferable meeting location.
Just so you know, we do have one of the newer models of the Mako. It's not bad. They actually installed thrusters on this one, which makes for interesting drop-offs. But we'll be getting more into that information later on. You can speak to the engineer chief for schematics and whatnot.
Will do, Captain.
Dismissed.
And he turns and leaves, and almost immediately sends a message through the... I assume we have like a ship-wide comlink. Like everyone is sort of connected somehow. Sends a message to these two to be at the shooting range in a couple of hours. There's a more exact
already
location.
there, probably.
Yeah, I was just like, but
He's
still.
like, oh shit, but we'd have to piss at that time. Um, so yes, there is a ship-wide comm link. So the way that that kind of works, because now that you guys are part of the Citadel Society, the way the extranet works is it actually ties into all of the different ships. Now, when it is you're able to get information from the extranet, or when it is you're able to send out the signals as like a pulse, is all dependent on how close you are to certain stations. There are links through the mass relays, so the mass relay can send the signal pretty quickly to other mass relays back and forth to the Citadel. Blah 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 blah. These things travel really, really, really fast. Now, I don't want people to get confused with like the quantum entanglement communications that happen to the Mass Effect video games. It's not like that. The extranet is a lower budget thing than the quantum entangled holograms that they have. So it does send out impulses when you're nearby, and you do receive it in pulses when you're nearby. So the reason why that's important is you can write 1,000 email before one pulse goes out, or you can write 1,000 emails, each one of them able to be pulsed out immediately. So sometimes you'll be like far away from where it is that signals can come in, and all of a sudden you check your like nothing on your smartphone for a long time, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck! Like seriously, 800 emails right now? Like, god damn you, Staples! And so on. So, you within the ship itself, though, it does have its own linked like intranet that will then store the data to pulse outwards to the extranet and to take stuff in. It has its own built-in firewalls and blah 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 blah. That's all safe. So anything that you do on the ship itself is always safe and secure, and even things that you deal with on the extranet should be safe because they go through the military-grade firewalls that exist there beyond whatever it is that you have on your little what's it called, Omni tool, your wrist smartphone. So one of the interesting things that you guys are able to see walking around the ship and whatnot is many times you do see people working on their Omni tools. But an interesting thing about the Omni tools and the way that they work is that Omni tools have those holo displays, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can see the holo display. Yes. It's nice and fancy in a video game. We get to show a bunch of neon lights and stuff like that in a dark futuristic setting. However, you're not playing a video game. Your characters are existing in the world. And when you see somebody tapping away at their like just above their wrist, you actually don't see the holo device that they're tapping away at. You do not see the buttons that they're pressing. You do not see their interface, and you do not see the display that they're reading. You just see that there is a metal Omni tool on their arm, and they're doing like this over the tool itself. However, when you look down at your Omni tool, whether it's by your side, up over your head, your hand is open, closed, whatever, always you see your display up on yours because it's linked into the cyberware and whatnot that your character has by the fact that you're wearing it, and you can see it at all times on your arm. So one of the cool things about James is that he looks at his, he has all the basic functions and features. He probably never changed or personalized the settings aside from having the background be like that of a stretched out borderline naked woman. But he has this awesome display like on the inner part of his hands where it's designed that if he grabs this thing in a certain way with his fingers in a certain order, like a pattern of which one hits where, all of a sudden the Omni tool will and fabricate through with Omnigel, fabricate like a blade on hand for him. Whereas you guys do not have that. Instead, you have your basic Omni tool here, personalized to whatever degree that you like. But if you flip it over to the side, you have more settings here, and more back here. So like based off the complexity of what it is you're doing, you kind of go in here. You know, sometimes you're up like this, but it's designed to be very user-friendly and comfortable for you. And the same thing with your hands and how it's positioned. So if your hand's like this versus like this, it's going to have very different display of settings in there. So it's kind of like pressing the function key or like a shift button on your modern day keyboard, but linked to macros instead of individual characters, right? All right. Omni tools. Time passes by. You guys get more comfortable with the ship. A few hours pass. You guys see come down a link from a, what is it? That's NCO. What is your rank there, sir? I can't remember. Ollie.
E4. I think I'm petty officer.
Yeah. So you see from petty officer 3rd class Adam Rockwell gives you the order to meet in the range at one of those like 1400. It's like, okay, cool. We'll do that. And so you guys make your way eventually there when that time comes to pass. Judging by your characters, I imagine both of you were there a bit early, like the whole quarter of.
Yep, just
Okay.
stood against the wall, leaning with my arms crossed, just waiting.
Okay.
No problem.
So, as you guys make your way down there and get over to your make your way there in, eventually kind of like look around, various people are coming and going and whatnot. You don't know who Petty Officer Third Class Adam Rockwell is. So eventually you do see somebody come down, and you look at the badge and the arm, and you're able to see Navyman, Petty Officer, and they come walking in. You guys actually did see him before. He was the guy leaning on the table, and he's walking up to the two of you, looking at you. Go ahead, Ollie. We'll let you take the lead.
I'm Adam Rockwell. If you two did not know, we do not have the exact same mission as the rest of the ship. More specifically, we, or even more specifically, you two under me, are going to be doing our own mission when we reach planetside. I know the both of you. I've read all your documents, even the ones you most likely know do not exist. Do you two know each other?
I know of him.
I look over for a second, and I just...
Lena Ward, James Carmine. That's all you're going to need to know. On this mission, when we reach planetside, I'm going to make it incredibly simple. You two are my bodyguards. You are my muscle. We are to be diplomats. We are to converse with the aliens that are going to be on the planet. And I don't want my mind jacked by an Asari or my DNA spliced. So you two are extremely talented combat professionals. I am not. So
Well, you didn't really need to tell us that, but okay. Go on, Navy boy.
this is a mission from the Navy. We are going to be... our mission is the same as the ships. That like actually flustered him.
Yeah.
Like he talked back, and it was true, and it's... We are going to be an away team. We are going to be on the planet side. It's a trading colony. It's a human colony. That's the other races of the Citadel would visit. It is our mission to record all the information that we can. Do not worry. I will be the one recording the information. Neither of you have to write anything. The shots are fired. Shots will not be fired. This meeting is merely so that you know that this will be going on once we reach our destination, once we've passed through the mass relay. Do you have any questions? Please don't have any questions.
Not for you.
Oh, yeah, I just look him up and down, look Lena up and down, just shrug.
Very well. When you get the command to meet with me again, we most likely will be going planet side. I hope you all greatly enjoy high G-force drop, because the Mako is not a comfortable ride. And then he turns and leaves. And it's probably only just gone to like 1400 too, because they were there early and he was there early. It wasn't a very long conversation.
Actually, I imagine it's not even 1400 yet. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you go walking away, and like as you walk away, do the two of you stand there for a few extra moments?
Yeah, I like to be the last one to leave.
I'd probably just look around like, okay, that happened apparently, so guess I'll just go back to shooting now.
And so he doesn't
Barely
leave
would-
either. He just stands there, and he's like, and then walks like a couple paces over and just like aims down the range and just starts taking fire.
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta be on point. Apparently we're gonna have to bodyguard someone now, so, you know, I'm gonna have to compensate for his not being able to shoot.
Wonderful.
Rookie, what do you do?
I observe him for a moment. I observe that he doesn't miss. not once.
Yeah, why don't you do me a favor? Actually, why don't you roll me a shoot check? But however, you're not whatever. What weapon are you using?
Probably the assault rifle.
Okay, you're not going to roll the attack roll the way you usually do. You're going to roll it as a skill check. So over by where the rest of your skills are. And you are at a range. And so all settings here are favorable. So you're going to be able to get a +1.
Ooh.
For the record, Adam Rockwell, actually knowing that they were gonna stay, at least one of them was gonna stay, has like the feedback from the range on his Omni tool and is watching it as he's going back to his bunk. He's not on duty.
Again, you're rolling
Cast your eyes and be impressed.
You're rolling on a 2d6, so with that, and you rolled a 3 and a 5, and you have a bunch of modifiers, a total of a +3. So that is some damn good shooting. Like a difficult skill check is a DC 10, right? So that is some damn good shooting she watches happen there. He is potentially as skilled with that assault rifle as you are with your sniper rifle, which is not. He walks around. He's got like his assault rifle. He walks around with his armor on and his stuff with him, right? You don't walk around with your stuff on you. Maybe you do have your armor on. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
But you don't have your sniper rifle on you because that thing's kind of large and to move around the inside of a ship with, right? So,
Well,
but,
Yeah,
in
some people
charge.
might lose an eye by accident.
yeah. So it does semi-fold into itself, but it doesn't. It's not like it goes.
Something that big isn't gonna fold that much.
No. Again, it still takes up some of your carry capacity and whatnot. So you are able to you're able to watch. And do you choose to whip out the pistol and take a few shots yourself, or are you perfectly fine with just letting him do it?
She's not gonna do it yet. She's just gonna observe.
Just gonna observe it is. Okay. And so Carmine, do me a favor, roll me a perception wisdom check, please.
Sure thing.
With a 9, you guys are rolling really fucking well. With a 9, you if only Delilah could roll this well. With your 9, you definitely notice shortly after you start shooting again, she's still standing there and watching. And just because I'm guessing for a moment here, Carmine's personality, roll for me a perception charisma check, please.
Okay.
Holy shit! You're fucking
This
on
is like the
fire!
first time, like
Wow.
this is the first time Dub's like played a tabletop RPG before, and he's like rolling like a god king.
It's beginner's luck,
I was
hardcore
about to-
beginner's luck. Jesus Christ!
Just give me a gun and I'm in my element, you know.
So,
He's holding the gun, so he's good at charisma.
oh man. Okay, so anyways, you with your perception charisma check, you're able to, because you're kind of like, oh, she's standing there watching. And so you're kind of like tossing sideways glances from time to time, trying to throw an eye over that way to be like, is she watching? But instead, you're able to actually get 100% of what she's. So, Rookie, could you please describe what Lena's thinking as she's watching all of this? He gets insight into your soul. No.
She's observing in a way that would help her determine whether or not this guy has to rely on her at all in any situation. She's trying to observe how cocky / confident he is, trying to get a read on what kind of person he would be on the battlefield with those guns he desires to hold, clearly.
So what you're able to read off of her, as she just described there, is that she's being super judgy of everything pertaining to you, your skill and persona. Now, probably the last roll I need to make in this scene, Lena, if you could roll for me a perception charisma check yourself to read that persona from him.
Oh,
He seems
beginner's luck does not apply to me.
he seems level-headed, and well, you've been a DM before. In D&D, granted,
Yeah.
but still, you've been a DM. That's it. You popped it. You know, no more luck. So, So you are looking at this guy and you see the way he's shooting, how calm he is. Obviously, he's throwing sideways glances at you because he's curious as to what's going on or whatever. But he seems level-headed. It's not like he's tossing eyes at you like, yeah, she's checking me out. It's not like he's cocky or trying to show off the fact that he's just that good, because he is just simply that good. He seems like a rather down-to-earth, mellow, level-headed guy. Right, James?
Well, yeah, if she had rolled high enough, I'd probably. Well, he is just, he's aware she's watching. He's pretty used to people watching him shoot at this point because, it's obviously not the first time I've put on a little bit of a show. But I'm just like, okay, she's watching, that's fine. And just quietly keep going. I don't need to throw it in her face or anything.
Yep. Okay, so and with that, why don't we end this one? We'll go to our next break. When we come back, we are going to be taking us through the mass relay. We're going to have Ollie making his first pilot check, an assistant one, thank God, and going through the mass relay to take us to the Hades Nexus and all the way to the planet of Titan. What did I say it was? Trident. All right, so we'll see y'all shortly after a quick break. Now that I think all my technical difficulties are solved. Yay!